Industrial laser, which emits an extraordinary light not to be found in nature. It can project a spot on the moon, or at closer range, cut through solid metal. I will show you.
When it was explained to me, of course, there was some reservations about lying there and how effective this laser really was, but he assured me that it was the actual beam of light was in fact nothing serious, but it's a kind of vulnerable position, like some gynecological exploration or something that one isn't too enamored of.
The heat of the flame actually was the heat of an acetylene torch. That's what it was. Very, very hot.
And there was a little mark underneath where it said stop, you know, and Sean was lying like that, and he could see the flame coming from underneath. And he was saying, I hope that he... Can you see clearly, Johnny, that... and he was looking not too happy at that moment.
Very nasty feeling actually being on the island on my own for the first little bit. And then you know that they're, you know, the rest of them haven't rehearsed, they haven't read the script, they don't know I'm James Bond, that I've got to live. It wasn't fun. I didn't like it. We're halfway into the film and I had to finish the film, so the producers are not, although they would have liked to kill me from time to time, could not afford to lose me, so Ross Kananga had my trousers and my shoes. A little touch that I thought was really your crocodile shoes.
He was dressed up as Bond and he did it. And the time he made the jump, from the moment he touched the first crocodile, the third crocodile had his head up and was waiting for him. And each one made a snap at him, but the third one, as he jumped, as he just left his back, the crocodile caught him in the heel and just snapped his heel. Fortunately, he had thick boots on, and it didn't go through the boots, and he managed to drag his foot free. But, I mean, that emphasizes the reason that Roger wasn't going to do it.
These guys are fantastic. I think they're the best in the world. I mean, if they didn't do their job right, and if I didn't trust them, I could easily have fallen off one of those tanker trucks and licensed to kill. And that would be bad enough, but remember, behind that truck's another big truck with a camera, so you'd go under that one as well. And I think, you know, often in life you do things not because you are brave, but because you are a kind of perverse coward. I mean, you know what I mean? I mean, if I'd have been on my own, I wouldn't have done it. But because there's other guys there, you can't say no, you know, because you're not going to have them thinking you're some kind of dickhead or something.
There was times where I would put him in a position, I'd wire him off to a certain extent, but then he would go that bit further. He would lean off the, like on License to Kill, on the back of the plane that he came down on a safety harness on a helicopter. But took tremendous courage to come down and to touch the back of the plane and mess around with it. He would push it a bit further, he'd lean out further, he'd give the camera more, but give me a heart attack at the same time. I would be saying, Timothy, please, slow down, come back, don't go so far. But he was giving everything he could for the movie and for Bond.
I like to think that each actor that we've had play James Bond brings his own personality to the part, and when we talked to Timothy, you know, we agreed that we would change the style to suit Timothy's particular talents.
Here, hold on, you're dead! We had 4 minutes to make Timothy the new Bond, and we discussed it and decided that I could tie him onto top of the Jeep, and he would be as safe as houses. I knew he was strong enough to hold on, but did he have the courage to hold on the bends and things like that? He goes down that mountain, not wired on, just holding handholds, and he did very well. I mean, tremendous courage. And all the stuff that he did on that movie was, he did the action.
When we first started to talk about the Land Rover crashing off the top of Rock of Gibraltar in the opening sequence of The Living Daylights, there was an idea that we could push a Jeep out of the back of a C-130 transport airplane with a stuntman on top. Having a number of worries and doubts, we thought it probably best to do a test of this first. So we got up to 10,000 feet and it was swaying around all over the place. We lowered a stuntman down from the helicopter until he was on top of the Land Rover, and we tripped a release, or the stuntman did, and the Land Rover fell, and the stuntman fell, but not as fast as the Land Rover. It made quite an extraordinary noise, I'm told, when it hit the ground. And the Land Rover, which started off as being about 6 feet tall, ended up that thick, just flattened on the ground. So it was at that point that we decided to revert to Plan B. And we fired a Land Rover with an air cannon off the top of Beachy Head, with a dummy in the back and the Land Rover alight.
You become a stuntman because you like the burst of adrenaline. People become, fight bulls because they love, Nigel Mansell drives like that because he likes that rush of things. I don't like that rush. I can live quite happily without it.
The stunt's been called by a couple of very generous reviewers the greatest and one of the greatest stunts in film history. And it wasn't in terms of, of being very complex. Some of these stunts are really complex and technological. This one, I almost felt that Gravity should have got equal billing, equal credit as, I didn't really have to do that much except go over the edge. If it is to be labeled a great stunt, I really think it has to do with the setting.
It was like an expedition. We spent nearly 3 weeks actually securing the camera positions to climb the rock and to secure all the handholds and what have you. And we weren't dealing with mountaineers. We were dealing with studio cameramen, who weren't really used to this sort of thing.
So we get on top and we have these things that parachutists use called wind drift indicators. They're just sort of crepe paper, and you stand on top and you throw it out. And sure, it goes down, snaking back and forth, and it just very slowly goes in towards the face of the cliff. And this stunt is very prohibitive. If you have any wind that could drive you back in the face once that parachute's open, you're going to get creamed.
And when I signaled for Rick Sylvester to begin his ski down the slope, the sun was off the mountain and was just on Rick Sylvester as he came down. It was, if I'd been a gambling man, that would have been the precise moment in time that I would have shot it. He was actually absolutely spotlighted by the sun. It was the last possible second that we could have achieved that shot. And wherever that played in the world, people just stood up and applauded because it had that. It typified Bond, the audacity of Bond,